sewing friends. My name's Diana and this is my sewing vlog, The Wandering Sewist. Welcome to my channel. So today is another edition of hashtag Friday Sews and a bit of a catch up because I have been gone for 3 weeks. I've been traveling. So I'll get to that in personal, but let's start with sewing. Sewing, there has been none because I've been out of town and I just got back a day and a half ago. So I have been recovering from jet lag and unpacking and laundry and stuff. But while I was in the United States, I did pick up a few things, not too much because luggage space is limited. So I got some white quilting cotton to use for my English paper piecing quilt because I'm doing in the grandmother's flower garden pattern and the path between the flowers is white hexagons. And I've been going through the white very quickly. So yeah, for every hexagon that I make, I use 7 colors. I have the hiccups. I use 7 color hexagon, and then I will use 5 to 7 white ones for every block. So they go really quickly, the white ones. I also picked up 2 kinds of interfacing, both by Pellon. So this is the Pellon Fusible Sheer Weight Interfacing. And this is the Pellon Fusible Featherweight Interfacing. Things that I have a lot of trouble finding different weights of interfacing here in Czech Republic. It's difficult to always have everything on hand that I need at any given time. And I also picked up a bunch of bias binding. So I picked up some black and some white, and I picked up several of these bias bindings. They're 100% cotton Sewology, extra wide double fold bias tape. So always need bias tape, and it was small and could fit easily into my luggage. And I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy making my own bias tape. I have discovered that it's not something I like to do. So if I can avoid making my own bias tape and buy some pre-done, then I would prefer to do that. So also I picked up a new video camera for my filming of my YouTube channel, and I was just trying to film this vlog on this video camera and it kept turning off. So I have to figure out, I know there's an automatic power off, and I think I may have that set too low, like not enough time. And then by the time I got done messing around with it, then the battery died. So this particular vlog will not be filmed on my new camera just yet until I figure it out. I also got a tripod to go with it. I'm hoping I can figure it out. One thing I'm worried about though is the sound quality. But I do have an external mic I can use. I can hook up to it. It's not if the sound on the camera is not great, then I have the external mic. It's always an option. So there's that I did, and then that's it for the sewing. I didn't pick up anything else related to sewing or to my sewing YouTube channel. I picked up some other things that are hard to find in the Czech Republic. One is the face wash that I use, which is Cetaphil. I can't find that here. And then another is liquid vanilla extract, the pure 100% pure vanilla extract. In this part of Europe, they use vanilla sugar instead of vanilla extract. So you just measure out the vanilla flavored sugar the same as you would amount of vanilla extract when you're baking. But if I want to have like a vanilla latte, I would have to add vanilla sugar to my coffee. And I'm trying to avoid all sugar because I have diabetes. So I wanted a vanilla extract that doesn't have any sugar. So I stocked up on vanilla. I also stocked up on taco seasoning, guacamole seasoning, um, just some small things that I could fit into my luggage because I didn't want to go overweight. So, you know, it's hard when you're traveling and when you live overseas and you want to bring things from home, but then you have the luggage allowance restrictions. So let's move over more to life and we'll talk about my trip. So I spent 3 weeks in the United States. I started off going to Reno, where my oldest son lives with his new wife of almost a year. It'll be a year in September. And together they have 3 little girls. So he brought one into the marriage and she brought 2 into the marriage. So I have instant 3 granddaughters, which was amazing. And they are adorable. And I absolutely loved spending time with them. I have learned there's a reason why young people have kids and not older people, because it was exhausting and I realized that I'm not young anymore. And I went to bed every night exhausted from playing with the girls, but it was a good time. It was a good time. I'm not going to see them again until next summer. I'll see them next July. We're planning a big trip to the United States next summer. And as part of our trip, we're taking a Great American Road Trip that will conclude with a week-long camping trip in the California Redwoods. And everyone's going to join us there. My son and his family, and my daughter and her husband. And we're all going to come together and we're going to have this wonderful experience in the Redwoods of California. So I'm very excited about that trip. It's going to be great. It's going to be exhausting, but it's going to be great. And so we will spend some time exploring the US. I'm hoping to make a stop at the Grand Canyon, which I've never seen before. So I'm hoping we can plan on our way through from Texas to the California coast, stopping at the Grand Canyon and having a little look. So that would be amazing. So I spent 3 weeks in the US, and while we were there, my son and daughter-in-law, their 3 little girls and myself, we took a road trip from Reno up to the Seattle, Washington area. And we took our time. We did it in 3 days, and we just went slow, and we stopped a lot to see things. We stopped at Mount Shasta, and so that's the last volcano in the row, from starting at Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, Mount Baker, Mount Shasta. So they're the ones that are in the row there down the Cascade Mountains. And it was really cool because now I've seen them all. And then we took a little detour, went back south to go, we went north to go south in order to go to the California Redwoods, which was my first time. We spent one afternoon just walking around in the Redwoods. We went down a little trail and did a little bit of hiking, and it was gorgeous. The California Redwoods are amazing. It's the majesty and serenity in those forests is just, I've never experienced anything like that before. It's really amazing. And all the pictures I have of that time have my kids and my grandkids in them. So I don't feel comfortable showing them to you, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I wish I could, but I would have to spend a lot of time blurring out the faces of my family members because I don't want to put them out on the internet. So unfortunately, I can't share photos with you of the Redwoods and of my road trip because I focus on taking pictures of the ones I love. So after the Redwoods, then we went up the Pacific Coast Highway, up the coast of California into Oregon, and then we went over and spent the night at Grants Pass, and then we went through Oregon, crossed the Columbia River into Washington, and then drove straight up I-5 up to the Seattle area, where we were staying for a few days, 3 days, 4 days. And we had a big family reunion for my son's grandmother on his father's side, which is my previous husband who has passed away. And she turned 90. So as many grandkids as could make it were there, as many of her kids as could make it were there. And it was amazing. It was a lovely party, and she totally deserves it. She's an amazing woman who has been a force in all of our lives, and we just love her. So it was a great experience. And then we also, on that Friday, my brother came over and he brought my mother's ashes. My mother passed away October 11th, 2021. And unfortunately, I have not been around in that area of the world since then. So I wasn't there to take care of her ashes. So we got together and with my 2 oldest kids and their families, and we went out to an inland waterway in the Puget Sound area, and we scattered her ashes at the same place where we had scattered my father's ashes 10 years earlier in 2011. No, that would be 14 years ago. So 14 years ago, we scattered my dad's ashes, and we scattered my mom's in the same place. So it was solemn, but it was also much needed. It was a good experience, and I'm glad that we did it. And then we went to the party so that was Friday, and then the Saturday we went to the party, and that Sunday we went up to my brother's house for barbecue and dinner. And then my son and his wife and their kids left to go back to Nevada, and I stayed with my brother from Sunday until Friday morning, just to have some time with my brother and his wife. And they have a grown daughter who has her own family. I spent some time with her too. And it was great. It was super relaxing. And my sister-in-law gave me a really nice gift. She gave me this really pretty Stanley, which I just adore. So I'm enjoying using my Stanley. And so then I went back to Reno on that Friday and spent Friday and Saturday in Reno with my son and his family. And then Sunday morning I left for Prague. And then I had some drama on the way home from Reno. So the flight from Reno to San Francisco, my first layover, was fine. And I made it to the San Francisco airport. And then I don't know if you've ever been to San Francisco airport, but it's not laid out very well. And there's a lot of construction. I walked almost 2 miles from my gate that I landed in to the international gate. I had to depart for my Munich flight. And it was, I needed the walking. It was good that I was walking. I just wasn't wearing the right shoes because I wasn't expecting the long walk. By the time I got to my gate, it was supposed to be 30 to 45 minutes to boarding, but right when I got there, they came out and said that boarding was delayed by 2 hours because there was a problem with the plane and they had to get a new plane, which I appreciate. If there's a problem with the plane, we're not going to fly it on a transatlantic flight. Get a new plane, by all means. Yes, do that. But when it was all said and done, we actually left San Francisco 3 hours late from Munich. And by the time I landed in Munich, my flight to Prague had already been gone an hour. So I had to get a new flight to Prague. I had to collect my luggage, get new luggage tags, and then recheck my luggage. And because I had to do that, I left the secure area of the airport. So then I had to go back through security to get my new flight to Prague, which was it turned out I had plenty of time, and it was easy because the Munich airport is very efficient. And made it through security, got up to my gate, no problem. I waited an hour and got back to Prague. So when I got back to Prague, I was exhausted, of course. On my San Francisco to Munich flight, because our flight had been delayed for 3 hours, many of the passengers had went ahead and booked other flights. So there was a lot less people on this flight than there was originally. It was originally a full flight, but by the time the flight left, there was a lot less people. And I had the entire row to myself, 3 seats long. So I had 3 seats to myself. So I just put up the armrests and I laid down flat on the seats, put the middle seat belt around me, and went to sleep. So I was able to sleep on my long 12-hour transatlantic flight from San Francisco to Munich, which was perfect because it was an overnight flight and I was due to arrive the next day around 1 in the afternoon. So I was able to sleep. So I left San Francisco around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, San Francisco time. And then I arrived in Munich around 1 o'clock Munich time. But you got to remember there's a big, huge time difference as well. Time traveling because of time zones. So I was able to get some sleep. And then my flight to Prague was no problem. So that's my trip to the US. Yes, I'm tired. Still very tired. It's going to take me probably 6 or 7 days to get my circadian rhythm aligned with the new time zone. It's not easy, but it's doable. And my kids got home from camp yesterday night, and they're all tired as well. We're unpacking today and doing all that stuff. And then it's like school shopping and all that stuff is coming up this next week. I'm not rushing them for the first few days, giving them time to get caught up on their sleep as well. So that's it. Not a lot to tell you as far as sewing goes. I need to figure out that video camera over the next few days because I would really like to do more filming of my makes while I'm making them to show you my process. And I would like to do some like sewing for beginners kind of videos, just the very basics as far as like using a sewing machine, using a pattern, some basics of finishing, how to finish your seams, just very basic things that I've had comments from several people that they like my videos, but they don't understand some of the terminology I use because they don't know enough about sewing. So I figured if I went back to basics and I could use those as a way of explaining the terminology that I'm using. Oh, one other thing happened. I want to tell you. So I want to shout out to Susan, who I met in the Reno airport, who watches my videos. Hey, Susan, it was lovely to meet you. So while I was in Reno, I was recognized 4 times plus 1. 5 times. So the 4 times I was recognized is because of all the news coverage from my daughter's kidnapping 3 years ago. And she was kidnapped in a very small town, which is the same small town, Fernley, Nevada, where my son currently lives. And so the local people there in Fernley recognized me when I went out and about to shop or go to a restaurant. And so that happened 4 times. I was approached by people and given hugs and things like that, which is fine. It was fine. It didn't upset me. But what was cool was when I was in the Reno airport boarding my flight, the lady behind me in line recognized me as the Wandering Sewist and said she watched my YouTube videos, and her name was Susan. So that was exciting. That was exciting because I only have like 1,290 followers, so of subscribers. So for all 1,290 of you spread around the world, for one of you to run into me in an airport, that's highly unlikely. So that was really cool coincidence. I know not everybody who watches videos is subscribed. If you could please subscribe, that would be amazing. Hit the bell, notification bell, so you can find out when I put out a new video. Hit that like button and please subscribe and come back and see me next time. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend with lots of time to sew something beautiful. Bye.